Hey guys, so welcome back to part two of taking stock. I think I got a bit sidetracked on the first part, but nonetheless, so just to recap, I think that when we get to the end of the year, a lot of people fall into depression and they, I don't know, kind of go down south, and it's hard for many people to regulate that at the end of the year. It's just that time, and it's a new year ahead, and I think I think the fact that it's a new year starting just kind of plays in on our psyche to a certain extent. And I'm talking out of experience. I'm one of those, and I kind of I go in with a double bang where I will start round about mid-November, and I'll kind of snap out of it. Um, you know, let's say maybe April. So you can call that seasonal or whatever you want to call it, but my point today is actually just about, you know, the fact that there is no reason to be depressed or down or go to dark places or think, have sewer thoughts. And so this is my process. And I think it's important for us to take stock, not only of our year, but, we should often take stock of our lives, in terms of, where are we going, etc. And I'm a firm believer in not planning ahead. I don't think that you can plan ahead, and I think that it's a sure way to feel disappointment, at some other stage, because it doesn't matter what your plan is. A lot of it is not up to you, and a lot of it is up to someone else, or you are relying on other people to reach this goal. So, and with that, I mean, like, whether it's planning a trip and you waiting for your travel agency, or whether it is planning to lose 30 kilos by the end of the month, and your personal trainer gets ill. Something as simple as that. But so what I've started to do, like, I take stock of especially people, and not things as much, because things are like, it's, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't see anything physical in my life that is irreplaceable, or something physical in my life that is um, worth more than my mind, my heart, my spirit, and my life. So the things that influence those aspects are normally other people. So I've started taking stock this year, and the first group of people that I actually focused on are people that are not with us any longer, people that have gone home early. And unfortunately, in my life, I have quite a few of those. And two of them were friends that were very close and very near and very dear to me. And with the most beautiful hearts, and had nothing but love for other people. Um, I can't even recall a time when ever either one of them were cruel or nasty or anything but kind. So my one friend, Foxy, passed away in her 20s, and my other friend passed away not long ago. And we are so foolish in life. We are so foolish thinking that we're in control. We're foolish in thinking that we can see someone next week or next month, or while you kind of in life, you don't really take too much time to plan and put in effort to see people all the time. And if you're anything like me, I hate driving. So whenever it's a question of being in Joburg and I'm in Pretoria or anything like that, I always feel like, oh, it's so much effort to drive. And I've regretted that, I have to say. We become so busy and caught up with frivolous things. I'm not saying that your job is frivolous. I'm not saying your job doesn't matter, it does. But nonetheless, whether you're working a full-time job or not, there's always time to go and see the people you love and the people that mean a lot to you. And if something happens so unexpected and you lose someone, time's out. And there's no more time to go and see them. And all you have are the memories of the times you shared, and the memories of the friendship you had, and the memories of, if it's someone as close as your mom. My mom passed away in 2019. It's finished. Like, there's nothing more you can do to put in effort to fix anything, or to everything that you said, I'll do it later or next month or next week or whatever it is. It's done with. And you can spend the rest of your life wishing, and you can spend the rest of your life wanting and desiring to have done something different. Whether it's a friend or a family member, it doesn't matter. The point is that there's nothing you can do. But I believe in taking stock of any relationship that has fundamentally shaped you in some other way, or that has fundamentally had some kind of impact on you to the point where it's changed you, or where it's shaped you, or where it's taught you something. Because those are the relationships that matter. And this life, as I said before, it's nothing. It's like a breath. And when you take stock of the people that were in your life but no longer are, and you start remembering what are the things that you were taught, that you learned, remembering that the way that they were, remembering the things that you used to respect in them, that you used to look up to, with them, remembering why it is that you remember them so fondly, and why it is that you've not forgotten them, because like 100 other people were in their lives, but they've forgotten them because they didn't have that impact on them and in their life. So I start by taking stock of that, and the key ingredient here is not to dwell on regret at all. Regret at the end of the day is, I think that feeling regret is nothing but a lie. You zoom in on regret in terms of one thing, one action from your side, that something you did or didn't do, and you zoom in on it so intently that it kind of just, it overshadows everything else. And I can promise you that the rest of the relationship or the friendship wasn't at all anything to be regretful about. Like, it's important to try and remember the good things and the things that you were taught, and to remember the reason why they've shaped you. Remember why they are a shaper in you. Whether it was the way they loved, or the way they treated other people, or the things that they did for you or didn't do, or the way they were there for you, and the advice they gave you, whatever that is. So that's where I start. And I don't take stock of relationships of anyone that has passed away that hasn't had a fundamental effect on me. Just don't see that that's necessary, unless you are dwelling in a space of unforgiveness. If there is something that even in death you are you are unable to forgive, best you start there, because being angry being angry when someone is no longer there, what are you angry at? There's nothing to be angry at. The person is no longer here, so you can't be angry at a memory. I mean, that's just silly. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Just let go. Then I start taking stock of relationships in my life that's hurt. The reason that I focus on these relationships, and these are people that are alive, but relationships that broke, and so we're no longer in each other's lives. And the reason I take stock of these are the fact that they hurt that much, that they put me through so much trauma and tears and brokenness and heartache and pain, and that those people's actions caused me to feel things like shame and fear to be myself, and they've made me question humanity. And so now I don't trust easily, and maybe they've broken a part of me that knew how to love better, but now I don't love better because it's too much of a risk for me to do that because of whatever happened. So I find that extremely important, because at the end of the day, it's those relationships and it's those things that happened that has made you and me who we are today. It's those things. That's why I am Marian, and that is why you are you. It's very seldom that we notice the positive things that shape us, and that is also sad, but unfortunately it's life. So we very seldomly notice a positive relationship changing us, and especially if you've gone through a lot in your life and you've been hurt a lot, then you take the positive relationships in your life and you have this flash moment every now and then where you wait for the shoe to drop. You wait for it. And because you wait for it, you don't give the people that are good for you the fullness of what they deserve. And I think that when you go through a hard year, I mean, my 2022 was incomprehensible. But when you go through a very hard year and things just, everything just goes belly up, I think that you hold on longer to the hard year, have it have such an impact on your next 5 years. You know, just existing in a kind of, whether you're being careful, whether you're being fearful, whether you're being anxious, whatever it is, bad shit make us live in bad ways. Because our mind, not our mind, our brain holds on to the pain, and our bodies hold on to the trauma, and that's why it's so crucial to take stock. Because if you take stock, and especially if you start now, you've got 2 months basically that you're working towards figuring out what was the true reason that what they did hurt you that much. And is it truly them and what they did, or is this emotion and this feeling in you, this painful brokenness in you, does it have another origin? Does it come from somewhere else? And if you figure that out, if you get to the root of it, I mean, if the root of it is this relationship thing, so be it. That's good. That's fine. Then you take stock like that. But if you're taking stock of hectic situations or things that have been heavy for you, and you just know that this emotion in you, this emotion was present before they did what they did, it's important to try and find the root. I mean, you're not going to heal from, the thing is not going to start like, yeah, so this is where the real thing happens, and now you go on with life, go on, and then this person, yeah, does something that triggers that feeling, right? You're not going to heal here and forward. Not happening. This is not the point, right, where your restoration starts. Your restoration doesn't start where someone else hurt you, right? Yes, you can try, you can forgive them, and you can try move on, but I can promise you that you are using a trauma coping mechanism to actually just put away the true nature of the pain that you felt, right? So if someone hurts you here and you somehow just know that that's familiar, like, or that's been something in me, right? You can't try to heal from here for the rest of your life. Restoration doesn't start here for the rest of your life. Restoration starts here, okay? And no, you're not going backward by trying to find the origin of the thing that actually hurt you. Not at all, right? This is a step towards moving forward, and moving forward whole, instead of like falling over your own toes, moving forward, right? I mean, you know the saying, like, it's broken people break people. right? It's so true. It's such a cliche, but it's so true. So, to take stock of pain for the past year, even if you just do it for this year, you don't have to go all the way back. Like, but if you take stock of this year alone and you are truthful, right? Don't also go back to relationships and go, yeah, but they this, they that, this, blah, blah, blah. No, go see the entirety of the relationship and stop like reciting what it is that they did, right? Take the entirety of the relationship and then ask yourself, what was my responsibility in this? What was my responsibility in this? What am I accountable for? And can I take accountability for whatever it is? What did I do leading up to whatever happened to make this person react in a certain way? And it's not always going to be that, but I can probably say 80% of the time it's that. You've got a part in it, and they've got a part in it. And the reason that they did what they did and they acted the way they acted is because in their lives, way back there, there's something present in them. Because your childhood shapes who you are. And then friendships and relationships come along and they don't build on top of, they break on top of, if you know what I'm saying. So if you can really sit and be honest with yourself and just determine like what it was that you did and how you are responsible for this, then I believe, I truly do, I believe that that's where your restoration starts. Because I can promise you that it's in that place where forgiveness needs to happen that forgiveness never did. Whether it's forgiving yourself, whether it's forgiving that person, whether it's forgiving outside influences, whatever it is, the reason that you hold on to it so deeply and the reason that whatever this person did hurt so deeply, the only reason you hold on to something, and holding on to something is holding a grudge. Unforgiveness is a grudge, right? And having that grudge just opens doors for the enemy. And then you keep getting these people in your life that keep doing the same thing to you, and you're like, what's going on? And it's because you have that open door. The door is open. The enemy is walking through with a smile on his face. And all God wants to do is restore you, but you are so busy, like sweeping the welcome little carpet for the enemy to walk through, that you fail to give God the opportunity to restore. Because I can promise you, restoration is painful. Restoration is very painful. Like, I'll share my testimony at one point, but it's so worth it. And it's when you try to, you keep asking, but God, but God, but God, but God, and in you or in your psyche or in your heart, you feel God's not pitching, like he's not answering you. I learned something very, very important in my life in 2022 and even up until now. And it's that it's in the silence where God will show you that he's had his hand on it all along. I can promise you that there's never a moment, a second, a day that you're on your own. Never. He's never forsaken you, nor will he. It's not going to start now. And then the other option is that, and it's my favorite one, and it's called Nineveh. When you are steered in a direction, whether it is with a relationship, whether it be like cultivating one or ending one or whatever it is, and you keep telling yourself, no, but it'll be different this time. God gonna send a whale to swallow you. And you are going to end up exactly where God said you should be. Whether you want to take the difficult road by not being obedient. You know how they say, once there's doubt, pull out. It's that. Doubt is the Holy Spirit tugging at your spirit, saying, hey, be careful, wait. No. And if you want to swallow that and do it anyway, you're about to be swallowed. And I promise you, whether it takes you 5 years or 10 years or whatever time, you will plant your feet securely in Nineveh, exactly where you're supposed to be, exactly where you were supposed to go. And the sad part is that when you reach your Nineveh, you look back and you are distraught because you feel like now you are too old. You don't have a lot of time. Then you want to start asking God, why? It's not God. The why is not God. Ask yourself why. And take responsibility, take accountability for your actions, whether it's with people. I mean, be real. Try and be real about it. Try and be real about relationships. Try and be real about the direction God is taking you. Try and be real about what you are doing to create open doors for the enemy to walk through. And a lot of times, open doors are mindsets and beliefs, right? A lot of times your open doors are something that you've got in your house. That's an actual thing that is causing open doors. I mean, you should stand so secure in God that word curses have no power. But in order to do that, you need to take stock. You need to take stock, and you need to be desperate enough for wholeness that you are ready for the restoration, and that you seek for God to restore you, that you seek His hand in your life to just take control of you. And then the last thing I take stock of is myself, things that I've done, whether it be to people or whether it be things. I try the best that I can to take stock of what I have done that I need to be cognitive of. And I take responsibility for that. In where I should have said thank you and I didn't, I do. And where I should have not done something, I apologize and ask forgiveness. And I do the best that I can, that come the last week of December, I'm done. I've taken stock and I've forgiven where I needed to forgive. I've taken responsibility where I needed to take responsibility. I've changed ways that needed changing long time ago. I've spent more time just being quiet and just making sure that I am exactly where God wants me to be. I tried to go into the last week of December not having anything in limbo that could possibly pull me down, because when you reach that place at the end of the year, it becomes a cesspool that is almost impossible to get out of. And then the enemy runs through that suicide door, giving you thoughts that God would never even imagine of giving you. And the enemy will make it seem like it's attractive. It's attractive, like it'll be easier. No one cares for you. No one cares about you. No one loves you. No one wants you anyway. And that's a lie. That is a lie. You are loved. You are wanted. You're never alone. And if you can find a space where you can meet your Father that loves you with a love that you cannot even begin to imagine, you will know that you are here for a purpose. I love Christine Kane. She always says, God created you for a purpose, on purpose, or on purpose for a purpose, whatever it is. I love that because it's true. And if you can find a place where you can love God no matter what, then even the impossible times become possible. You won't even know how you got through it. You'll just like kind of snap out of it on the other side, and you'll realize that there was no way you could have gone through it, like God carried you through. So that's that, guys. Take stock. It's important. And I'm looking very forward to actually recording a piece that I've been wanting to record for quite some time. And it's titled Why There's So Much Hate in the World. I know why. Cool, guys. So then hopefully I'll see you guys soon. And after that, I would like to finish Exodus, and then I will do my testimony. Cool. See you guys soon.